Leadership Talk. This webinar is Building Your Bylaws. What is Leadership Talk? Manitoba Agriculture and Resource Development industry leadership staff provide free webinars on building the organizational capacity within the agriculture sector, which results in high-performing organizations. In this disclaimer, this content is designed for informational purposes only. This information is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice. Organizations should consult their professional advisors related to specific situations. Looking at this slide, we're looking at the definition of a constitution. The systems of beliefs and laws by which a country, state, or organization is governed. A document that describes this system. The source taken from Merriam-Webster's Learner's Dictionary. Here's the definition of a bylaw. A rule that an organization, such as a club or company, makes and that its members must follow. It could be defined as a law or a regulation that is made by a local government and that applies only to the local area. Definition comes from the source, Merriam-Webster's Learner's Dictionary. What makes up constitutional documents? Letters patent, if applicable, articles of incorporation, stamped or application for incorporation, bylaws or articles of association, and a governing statute, which may be optional. In Manitoba, whether you are a corporation, a not-for-profit organization, or a registered charity, you all need bylaws. When drafting your bylaws, please include definitions, plain language, numbering, and it's strongly recommended that once you've had your bylaws written, you seek legal counsel to ensure that your bylaws are correct for your organization and for the area in which you function. The next few slides are going to talk about things that should be in your bylaws and will include some examples. So for the very first slide here, example section 1, general definitions. In this bylaw and all other bylaws of the corporation, unless the context otherwise requires, Act means the Canada Not-for-Profit Corporations Act, SC 2009, Chapter 23, including the regulations made pursuant to the Act and any statute or regulations that may be substituted as amended from time to time. Articles means the original or restated articles of incorporation or articles of amendment, amalgamation, continuance, reorganization, arrangement, or revival of the corporation. Board means the board of directors of the corporation, and director means a member of the board. Name and purpose. What is the name of your organization? What's the reason for your organization's existence? Is this consistent with the Articles of Incorporation? Do you have any governing legislation that you need to follow? Name of the organization. The name of the organization is the Manitoba Beef Producers, which also may be known as or referred to as the MBP. The purpose of the group is to provide members opportunities to promote the beef cattle industry in Manitoba and elsewhere. Members. How does one become a member? What are your categories of membership? What are the rights and obligations of members? When are the dues delinquent? Note, the dues or fees should be set by the board and the amount should not be included in the bylaws. In this section, we look at membership and the different classifications of membership. There are 4 categories of members. You can be a full member, an associate member, a life member, or an honorary member. Board of Directors. How many directors will there be? Is there a minimum or a maximum number? How does one become a director, and for how long will you hold that position? Can a director be re-elected? And if a vacancy occurs, how will it be filled? Another example here is composition of the board. The board consists of the president, 9 directors elected at the annual general meeting from amongst the voting members, and the immediate past president. Committees. What, if any, standing committees will the organization have? Who is on the executive committee? What authority does each committee have? How will these committees report to the board and to the membership? When establishing committees, the board may appoint committees to advise the board, and a board member chairs each committee created by the board. Officers. Officers are generally members of the board who perform specific functions such as president, secretary, treasurer, etc. What are the duties, responsibilities, and powers for each officer? What are the procedures for removing an officer and also for filling vacant officer positions? What is the length of time for an officer's term? Duties of the officers. The role of the vice president. Presides at meetings in the president's absence. If the vice president is absent, the directors elect a chairperson for the meeting. And the vice president is a member of the executive committee. Meetings. Who can call a meeting? Are there any procedures in place to deal with non-attendance at board or committee meetings? How many board members will be required for quorum? What are the rules for electronic meetings or proxy voting? Will decisions in lieu of meetings be allowed, and how will these decisions occur? Meetings of the organization. The annual general meeting. The organization holds its annual general meeting no later than March 30th of each calendar year in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The board sets the place, day, and time of the meeting. Meetings of members. When and where is the time and place of meetings? How are members notified? Who can call or request a meeting? Has quorum been established? Will proxy voting be allowed? What business can be transacted at a meeting? Finance and management. Do the bylaws establish the fiscal year? Do the bylaws stipulate that an auditor is appointed at each annual general meeting? Who is able to sign checks, legal documents, and contracts on behalf of the organization? An example, who is the signing authority? Conflict of interest. When members declare conflict of interest, how will it be dealt with? What procedures are established to ensure the member is not involved in discussion and voting? Dissolution. Under dissolution, how will the organization's assets be distributed if the association ceases or dissolves? Rules of order. What set of rules will the association follow when the bylaws don't speak to the situation? Amending bylaws. What are the specific rules for amending the bylaws? Is there a process for adopting, repealing, and enacting the bylaws? Bylaw changes. Provincial requirements in Manitoba. How to make bylaw changes. A really useful tool is a guide for Manitoba not-for-profits incorporated under the Corporations Act. The contact information will be in a further slide. Resources. Please check out the following websites. They provided information for the presentation that was just given. So the corporations and not-for-profits in Manitoba and Canada, go to the Manitoba Companies Office or charitycentral.ca. Please stay connected with us. If you have any questions, please send them to our leadership@gov.mb.ca email address. Make time to visit our Manitoba Agriculture and Resource Development Industry Leadership webpage at www.gov.mb.ca/agriculture. There you will find a number of resources, including fact sheets and worksheets, templates, and guidebooks that will help you strengthen your organization. You will also find contact information for the rural leadership specialists who are available to work with your ag organization. This website contains a wealth of information related to starting an organization, developing a strategic plan, being a board member, board operations, or dissolving an organization. The resources section also contains a number of tools and links that you will find helpful. Please join the conversation with Manitoba Agriculture and Resource Development. Please subscribe to our newsletter, visit our website, call our general inquiries line, view our videos on YouTube, or follow us on Twitter. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar.